answers, even though we talked about them. I didn't record our discussion, but I'll just show the answers in case anybody is looking for them at home. And this is the last page we went over. We emphasized how on C you have to distribute. And number 5, we actually did one just like it yesterday. All right, so now the next one says, what's the equation of the line that goes through those 2 points? So the first thing I did was I plotted the line, and then I said, well, what's the slope here? And I go up 6 over 12, and that reduces to up 1 over 2. So I plot that graph in there. And I look at all of these choices, and they all have a slope of a half, except choice B. So I know it can't be choice B. Then I said, well, let's look at the y-intercepts. And I don't know exactly what that y-intercept is just by looking at the picture, but look at the choices. This one says a y-intercept of 0 in choice A. Choice B says positive a half, and choice C says negative a half. That would be down here. So 0 would be here, negative a half would be here. Which is the one that has to be the answer? Where I go through it positive a half. So therefore it has to be choice C. Okay? So that's a question you could have reasoned out on your own. Okay, take a look at that one, see what you think. Any questions? No. Okay. Transformation questions? Remember, they're color-coded there so that you can kind of see what's going on. Move it up a little bit more. Anybody have any questions? Doing okay? Hopefully you guys are looking at this like, man, I've been doing this stuff on homework for the last 2 months. This is business as usual. Have you been thinking like that and doing that homework all along? This is not intimidating at all. Okay. Notice this last question goes backwards. It says the answer is 615. If the dilation was a factor of 3, what'd you have to start with? So you actually end up dividing by 3. So 2 times 3 would give you the 16, 5 times 3 to 15. So it had to be 6 divided by 3 is 2, 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay, here's some more. Buddy, let's not play games, right? Focus, learn. If you want to not pay attention, I think you're making a mistake, but if you just don't want to learn, that's okay, but don't go taking people down with you. Anything on here, guys? Take a look at the bottom. Some people have had a little difficulty with question C here. Yeah. It says solve 4x. That means get x by itself. So I know it looks weird, but if this said 10 equals 3x plus 1, you would do minus 1. So now just do minus b. The weird thing is you can't do y minus b, so just leave it. And then you're going to divide by m because it says mx. If it said 3x, you divide by 3. It says mx, you divide by that. Kenneth, let's get your knees under your desk. And you get y minus b over m. Anything else? Oh, the last one, percents is not a part of this course. They expect you to know it from last year. Remember the proportion, percent over 100 equals part over whole. I know that Miss Antonacci teaches it that way because I've worked with some of her students, and also Ms. Van Wickler also does that. Okay? Any questions? All right. Any of those 3 points works for the first one? And there's the next one, the fence problem we went over yesterday. Had an ugly answer yesterday. Today it works out nice and even. Any questions on that one? Either of those? Okay. And then one down here. Okay. Take a look at the lines graph, see how you did. Any questions? Here's the last part. That check's in there, remember? Whenever you do a check, you have to check both answers in both equations. Any questions? All right, scan 7. Check it out, see how you did. Any questions on these? I'll slide up a little bit. You know, I'm looking at you guys and I see a number of you guys are not really looking at your work and comparing your work to my work. And if you're not doing that, you don't know if you're right or wrong. So if you did your work last night and you got it wrong, you taught yourself how to do it wrong. You need to address how to do it right. Know what I mean? Ask questions. You guys are awful quiet. Anything else on this page? Okay. Take a look. See how we're doing. I think that first one's real easy. Any other questions here? This question is a little bit of a difficult question. The numbers will work out better before. The big thing I want you to understand in this one is just being able to the scale factor. It goes from 2 to 12, so that's up 10 over 6. So the scale factor would be 10 over 6, which reduces to 5 over 3. Here are 3 equations for you. You know, on your calculator, you can always use the ABC button and do 10 divided by 2/3, and it'll work itself out. I didn't have a calculator when I did this, so I did it a slightly different way. With your inequality on choice B, you have to remember to put the symbol and the letter there. N is less than or equal to 3. If you just put 3, like if on A you just put 4, you're going to get credit. If you just put 3 on B, you won't, because there's only one answer to A. The only answer in the universe is 4. For B, there's an infinite number of answers. So the only way I can express all of those answers is to say N is less than or equal to 3. And little scientific notation work. Remember, I've told you this story a number of times this year, that the first year of the state assessment test, on day 1, there was, the first booklet had in the low 20s for the number of questions, maybe 22, 23, 24 questions. 7 of them were on scientific notation. I just remember getting very upset, and I remember counting 7 and saying, you got to be kidding me. All the topics we've covered this year, and there are 7 scientific notation questions on the first day. Now, it turned out that there were not many on days 2 and 3. I did get a chance to peek at the Math 8 final, and my impression of the Math 8 final was that it was very fair. It wasn't easy. It wasn't ridiculously hard. It was fair. And there are several scientific notation questions on that test. So you'd better be prepared to answer scientific notation. And there's also, oh boy, a decent number of questions about slope, y-intercept, rate of change, graphing lines, etc. So this is a big deal, this topic. Yes?
The finals, are there going to be questions like number 1 on the quiz? Concerning the project?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you feel like see a home by final?
Yes. Yeah. When the pass comes back, and Lenny, this will be your second. Boy, oh boy, the ones who typically use the passes are still rocking out the passes. All right, any questions on A through E? Okay, and then F and 27. Remember, similar means same shape, sides, proportional. And isosceles right triangles are all 45, 45, 90, so they all have the same shape. And equilaterals are all 60, 60, 60, so they have the same shape also. All right, so that is everything that you needed to know about yesterday's work and today's